In the past 2 years, I've seen dozens and dozens of people get approvals for the EB1A I-140. That means your extraordinary ability green card, which is the fastest way to getting a green card. I've seen approvals come in for hundreds of candidates. More and more people are starting to shift from EB2 and EB3, which was previously the most popular classifications, towards the EB1. And that is also why you see, in the last few years only, there's been a backlog for Indians going into the EB1A. However, what you may not know is that there are certain kinds of people in the market that try to present your profile in a way that you seem to be someone else completely. So they show that you're extraordinary when you're not. Now there's a difference. Profile building is a real thing. You could build your profile, spend months on it or years on it, and then petition and get approved. That's a real thing. But what many people started doing, and I don't want to name those people, I think you would know who they are. They started to essentially pull you in by saying, we will build up your profile in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And within this timeline, we will basically build up your profile and send your profile to the USCIS. These people faked everything on your profile. You know how to spot it? Take a look at this message that I received from one of you guys in April, by the way. This is back from April. This crackdown is starting to happen right now, as of today. And this is in June. So I already sent it back in April. Take a look. So you can see this message is from 30th of April 2025. One person came to us and they said that, look, one of my friends has gone with the service provider who's offering this thing. They're going to get 2-3 awards, 3-4 memberships, some media publications, judging opportunities, original contributions, articles, and critical or reading role. They're going to get some LORs. And then they name the awards: Globee, Stevie, Titan, membership, Senior IEEE, BCS, Tech Billion Media, and award judging and peer reviews. And then they name journals also: IJCT, IJFMR, and all of these. To that, this was my response. Hi, Richa. Thank you so much for sending the details. That looks good. Let me just tell you a couple of issues with that. We have, we've been doing this for a couple of years now. So we know, like, there are certain things that sort of get you, well, sort of, into trouble. And one of the biggest issues is the kind of awards mentioned, like Globee, for instance. Many of these are blacklisted. If you're judging these awards, if you're working with these awards, almost everyone is doing this, and it's pretty much, like petitions that go in, we actually calculated this, they had a 32% less chance of acceptance. So there's a lot more that goes into it. There's that. Then there's, of course, your, media publications, right? Tech Bullion, Tech Times, IB Times. Again, when you petition with the USCIS, you want to show essentially that you are being published about in top level publications. That's also why when we don't do this, by the way. Media publications are not needed for most of our candidates because we have such a strong network of research partners. So you have enough pointers, by the way, and we'll discuss that in the meeting if you go for one with me. You're already going for one. I think they already had the session, right? So on the 28th, we had the session, right? So the issue with the media that you're using, so we have used previously, I'll tell you which ones. We've done Forbes India, we've done Times of India, we've done India Times, we've done a couple in South Africa, we've done New York Times also. The quality will be there. So tomorrow, there's absolutely no doubt that when you submit it to the USCIS, they're not going to argue with you about the, okay, the distribution is not good enough and all of that. All right. Then there's judging, award judging, peer reviews. That's something we already have covered. That's something that we have, and you'll be judging for the top level publications. Again, it's basically about the quality. Journal names that you mentioned, you can verify these. I don't think none of these would be IEEE, Springer, or elsewhere. My experience is that when we've had people who have come up to us and, their profiles were more or less irrevocable. Like some of these we had to deny because the profile was just so badly built. And that's something like, you have bad papers on your name, you cannot remove them. They're just there to stay. You cannot get them unpublished once they're there. So that's also one thing to worry about. But yeah, that's just, I'm just telling you, like, many people in the industry do this. You will find multiple providers. Some of them will do, much more for a lesser price. And you will see that in the output of your petition. That's a very common RFE that we've seen people who have gotten RFEs, who've gotten rejections, and have come to us and have shared those documents with us, and we've downright rejected the case because the quality of profile building was just in a way, like, it was just done in a way that it just simply screams that you sort of used fraudulent methods to do whatever you've done.
So just make sure that you don't go with that. You can go with anyone, but just know that these things happen in the market. And look, you took a session with me also, and even if you didn't, honestly, I would still tell you, like, many agencies would do this. So just be very wary about where you're putting your money, because once something is on your profile and you send it to the USCIS, you cannot take it back. So yeah, that's all.
This is not new, guys. This has been happening for a long time. How do you spot this? We have had real profiles come to us where, first off, it's very easy to see all these research papers are of bad quality. They are review papers, they are written by amateurs, and then you never really involve in any part of it. You don't know what's going on. You never publish this paper. Tomorrow you see that you have a Google Scholar profile with 5 papers under your name all of a sudden in the morning. This is what these profile building agencies are providing. Then there's some infamous awards at this point. I wouldn't say Globee is a bad brand or anything, but at this point, we all know what's going on in the market with Globee awards. We all know how you can pay in certain cases and very easily get the awards. And I think USCIS is starting to realize this as well. Now, these things used to work, but after these people got the approvals, what's going on is that USCIS is submitting NOIRs. I-140 is approved. I-485 is probably not done, or maybe in certain cases it's done. But NOIR means Notice of Intent to Revoke. That means they gave you the approval of the I-140, but it's not okay. They want to revoke it. Why? Because they found some evidence against you that all this information that you submitted, it was fake. You never really had these publications happen. You paid for them and they just came in overnight. And some of them are backdated. It's so bad to do backdating. People don't realize. I try to tell them, look, all of a sudden, since 2022 you have published the paper. Now all of a sudden the citations come in on those papers. It looks odd. It's not okay. It's not correct. And none of the top 3 like IEEE, Springer as well, they won't backdate anything. So what's going on over here? Why are you falling for this when it's so much common sense to me? So if you're really publishing, you really put in some time, you really actually work on the publishing, you publish in top level publications, that's fine. You genuinely get good citations of good people using your work from all over the world, that's also fine. But I request you, please don't fall for such agencies, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow to these agencies. But one thing is for sure, if you've built up your profile the wrong way, you're going to be in trouble. If you want to build it the right way, there's many ways to do that. We have research groups, we have all kind of collaborations going on, exciting stuff that you can actually be a part of. And you can send me a resume on YMGrad for a free evaluation. I'll let you know, maybe you already qualify for one of these EB1s or ones. But please don't build your profile the wrong way. Some people are in the market to do it cheap way. The cheap way, unfortunately, will cause issues. So spend time, effort along with spending money in this process, and trust me, you will see really great results. But yeah, that's the EB1A visa for you. Make sure you go through the requirements. I have a whole separate video on this as well. If you like, you can look into that, and you can sign up on ymgrad.com. We'll send you a free guide on how to build up your profile if you genuinely want to do it the right way. Stay safe, work hard, and get the EB1A the right way, because I know you can.